Thank you so much for inviting me to share my thoughts on research initiatives of Leads Connect in this August gathering at National Symposium on Advances in Remote Sensing. The opportunities that are open right now transcends from the way we are working in the direction from remote sensing to analytics, from climate change to agriculture, city analytics, health analytics. The possibilities that has opened because of remote sensing and the continuous development in analytics and the AIML models that are being developed, the opportunities for remote sensing professionals and academia who are basically so the it has just been open to a very wide levels, you see. So to talk about, I'll just start up with my presentation. I would just try to tell you that we in industry, we understand that you people in academia have all the knowledge and we have everything to gain from it. But we as in industry, we have a lot of use cases which we have developed. I mean to say the Leads Connect has been involved in a lot of agriculture risk management, and we are trying to connect the value chains. We are working in climate resilient agriculture. We see my whole research lab is the base of research lab is basically remote sensing analytics and AIML. So this is the seriousness which this subject requires, and it is one of the most prominent subjects that we have to work out. And I say there is a bright future ahead of us to explore the unexplored and do the impossible, you see. I'll just share my screen. Yeah. So we come out with basically our vision is basically connecting farm value chain for enabling sustainable, scalable, and profitable agribusiness ecosystem. And our mission is to provide end-to-end farm risk management solution to the farmers using technology to empower stakeholders to settle crop insurance localized claim within 48 hours using technology and on-field manpower. I tell you, this is one of the most important mission statements that we have. We are facing huge challenges in this particular segment, and I believe this is the area where all of us need to work on. Basically, this is one of the most painful areas that we are going through in terms of crop and insurance and PMFBY for that matter. Last but not least, to provide concise, precise app solution to our clients ranging from insurers, reinsurance, state governments, banks, financial institutions, using skilled manpower. We are like 600 people on the ground. Most of them are agriculture graduates, and some of them are from remote sensing background. And with obviously we have a user interface as well. So we specifically have two specific segments, a research group and an implementation group. The research group is essentially, I said, I already said that the base of my research team is remote sensing based researchers and scholars who are, and GIS experts. We have agriculture experts, crop modelers, and who are ably supported by AIML experts, weather experts. Some people are from IMD, ex-IMDs also, and there are few statisticians to support. And as I said, we are like 500, 600 people on the ground who are there in around 110 districts. So these are the specific directions in which we are working. Basically, us in terms of the advances in remote sensing and the requirements that we have, which is which facilitates decision makers for policy making and course correction, synaptic coverage of area. We give real time crop condition assessments, ability for repetitive coverage change, quick crop wise verification of AOI, and facilitation to the farmers, Stratified random sampling also, the basis of which I'll discuss the use case forward in my other slides as to how we do remote stratified random sampling, and how remote sensing and GIS becomes the base of the whole solution that there is. Smart crop cutting experiments are something that have come up recently, and because of the pain points related to statistical model that we have, and the the kind of manpower and human intervention that is there as of now in the yield estimation, the statistical yield estimation. We are moving towards technology wherein there drones are becoming very, very important for this yield estimation. Then there is crop yield assessment, essentially, wherein we are using remote sensing. Crop loss assessment as well, we are trying to create an AIML model, which I'll talk about. And in terms of farmer advisory also, we have a IVRS system wherein we are trying to create crop clusters using farmer clusters, actually based on crops, using remote sensing actually. So I'll just go through the projects that we have undertaken, which is we have worked for NCFC. We have one of the biggest agencies for agriculture insurance company. We have worked for ARIA, which is a World Bank funded project. And we have worked for a few general insurance as well. We are working with them continuously. We are trying to develop a risk management module, farm risk management module right now, and we are trying to extensively use remote sensing and GIS in our systems. This is how we have grown. Actually, in 2009, when we started, we had started from a small project in Bihar, and then right now we are specifically working in these particular states, pan-India. So this Leeds Research Lab came into existence in 2017, which essentially comprises of my the whole team, which there also we have divided into two groups, that is the implementation team and then the innovation team. Which is headed by Mr. Yogesh Kumar Singh, who is himself a very experienced personality with 20 years of experience. We have a research team wherein implementation team is headed by Mr. Puneet, and Alok, who has been coordinating with BIT Mishra, is actually Alok Mukherjee is the one who is heading the innovation unit and working on different publications and research papers as well. So the vision being ideate, develop, create, and propagate the excellence that we have to develop people-centric solutions in agriculture is what our mission is. And we are definitely going forward in that direction. So we are, as I said, we are doing agriculture, agri-tech analytics. There has been the kind of demand that there is, the food demand, the trends that we are following. We see that there is a huge requirement of using land for cultivation, the output, better output, and nutritional, so nutritional output. So everywhere the requirement for analytics and remote sensing is gaining ground as of now. So we are also working on climate and hazard analytics, and we are also working on disaster risk reduction and management. We are working on landscape and urban analytics. We have been also trying to develop a kind of an health analytics. We are still in discussion. The team is, because the way the pandemics are spreading and the disease is spreading, we are working on a premise and a hypothesis that every disease has a special pattern, and we are trying to understand how we can develop a health analytics to help from government officials to insurers and TPAs, the third-party health administrators, to understand the spread of disease and to give better services at hyper-local level to the people, and how to manage beds and doctors better, in future. So, and obviously we are into geopolitics as well. So we have with our initiative, that is the Northeast India initiative, which is wherein we have collaborated with the people there, and we are also working with. We have started an office in IIT Guwahati, and we are, we expect to collaborate with them in future as well. Now we have the Jharkhand initiative, wherein we have collaborated with BIT Mishra and working with them on the environment dynamics of Santhal Pargana region, and we expect to come out with the paper on this very soon. So we have a we have our own remote sensing and GIS team. That is, we do data science and analytics. We have in-house team for that as well. We have drone analytics that we do. So to go and think about research initiative as of now. So these are the specific research initiatives that I had already talked about. There is Northeast India initiative, wherein we are construing natural hazard dynamics in hyperlocal scenario. We are trying to develop the system wherein we can give a solution to the people there on the ground. It is essentially related to disaster risk management. We are trying to decipher biophysical impact of climate change in Northeast. We are developing a kind of a multi-hazard intelligence system on hyperlocal scenario. And we are also trying to develop city analytics for northeastern cities. Similarly, in terms of Jharkhand, we are talking about construing land system complexities, deciphering linkage between land and systems, assessing environment dynamics. We are assessing, quantifying the livelihood dynamics in the state, and developing an intelligence system. This is the base of all the solutions that we are trying to implement, wherein we are trying to implement an intelligence system which can give solutions to the people on the ground. The deliverables, which include in terms of Jharkhand initiative, we need to come out predictive analytics model for construing environment dynamics, analytical dashboards, and smart and land subsidence model. So we have taken this initiative with BIT Mishra, and I think we'll come up with a very specific model and an app for the people of that area. And it is already in the making. My people are already working on this. So we are also working on research and development activities and events and collaborations. We are chairing sessions in different scientific conferences, collaboration, organizing scientific events. So we have been continuously trying to get in touch with all the academia and the research research people, and try to understand how we can move forward on this. So as a company, we are trying to get into climate resilient agriculture and agriculture value chain, wherein we are working on the modules under climate resilient agriculture analytics, automatic identification, sowing and harvesting time, wherein we are looking at stage-wise crop analytics. And it is also very important to understand that we need to connect all possible dots of agriculture, the plight of farmers and of all the stakeholders, beside construing the issues related to farmer and farms in the context, environment impact, and scientific dimension. It is absolutely important to connect the farmer produce with the optimal market. So this is where the whole value chain have to be connected to each other, and we have to look at the agriculture sustainability. So this, we are also working on disaster risk analytics, wherein climate change induced disaster is on rise and has been affecting various parts of world. Loss of lives and infrastructural loss is paramount due to spike in natural disaster. We do believe that there is a looming threat on sustainability of human civilization. It is therefore very important that people-centric solution must be developed to address the challenges of natural disaster and their impact on the society at large. Hence, Leads Connect team has been working on development of analytical portal on these aspects using disruptive technology. Here we are showing the block diagram of how we are going to create that system of disaster risk management and ultimately disaster risk financing, essentially, and wherein we are using disaster induced crop analytics package, disaster data analytics we are doing disaster risk finance analytics module, and evaluation analytics package, environmental sustainability, and geospatial analytics. When we talk about geospatial analytics, it is a platform for providing analytical services related to the hazard and environment analytics. This would be a kind of risk management analytics tools. Other such services can also be included. Disaster data analytics is GeoPortal will also contain a digital repository and a regional database system. So now we come down to the use cases for remote sensing and analytics that we are using as of now, which also uses a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So first and foremost, we'll talk about crop acreage. So when we talk about crop acreage, the important aspect, we talk about crop acreage estimation essentially before the cultivation of crop, harvesting of the crop, that is. So the important aspects which are involved in the process are, we need to refer to the crop calendar. Every crop has its own crop pattern and crop sowing and harvesting time variance. To refer crop pattern, each specific area has its own growing pattern. It's a monocrop or it's a mixed crop. So this is the specific flow of the flow that we have generated, and on the basis of which we are creating the system, which we acquire the satellite image, and then we do the pre-processing, and we get the FCC of the satellite images, from which we identify the agricultural and non-agricultural area, and then we do image classification on the basis of RF or SVM. Then we also have, we take crop signatures. My people on the ground take the crop signature from the field. And then we ultimately do the crop classification, and we do the zonal statistics calculation. Our the system and the AIML model does the accuracy assessment, and then we come out with a final acreage map. This is one of this is the area wherein we can see the GT points that has been generated from this has been done for the paddy crop. And basically, if you would see, there are some areas which is totally blank. So this is something that intrigues all of us. Basically, the issues that we are facing when we are using remote sensing is because of lot of noise, specifically in the Kharif season. We are not being able to assess the areas where we have a lot of noise. So this is something wherein we are trying to find out a solution in an AIML model, if possible, to understand how we can understand and assess and create analytics from the areas where we do not have images, or we have a lot of noise in that area. So next is crop condition assessment and stress identification, that is crop health analytics. That is where also we use a lot of remote sensing. So we find out vegetative health. There is a periodic monitoring of vegetation indices through satellite images, field-based monitoring, above normal, below normal, or normal. This is what we try to find out. We try to find out the environment condition at atmospheric temperature, atmospheric humidity, and soil moisture. Depending on the value of these factors, the health of the crop can be determined. The monitoring of the crops for the study area is done on actually monthly basis, or even in 15 days if the crop cycle is quite short. So this is the normal flow of our system, wherein a time series satellite image is acquired. We do a pre-processing from the FCC. We do a agricultural area identification. We do NDVI calculation, and ultimately we do a kind of a change detection based on the previous years. We either, if there is a lot of loss or there is a ambiguity, we try to compare it with the last 3 years images also. On the other hand, we take the SMAP data, we do soil moisture extension. There also we do the change detection, and then there is analytics and analysis that we do using our AIML module, which ultimately we give the report on the dashboard of our system. So this is the crop health report for a district in Uttar Pradesh, for Lakhimpur. So this is how we actually try to give the data. Essentially, the idea is we want to move from this aspect of district-wise data to khasra-wise. That is, we want to go very, very granular, and we want to give analytics on basis on for a particular land holding, which may be as small as say 0.2 hectares, and with current set with a proper accuracy. That is where the challenges lies, and that is where we are trying to create a kind of a system wherein we can give a very, very accurate data and accurate health of a particular land parcel. For that, we are trying to create an AIML model using, and we are trying to create a pipeline satellite analytics that we are trying to do. So there is a crop infestation assessment also, wherein the remote sensing data is used. The crop condition mapping is basically an assessment of health of crop in relation to infestation, moisture efficiency, fungal and weed infestations. And how does remote sensing technology help? It helps in early delineation of patches of underperforming crops. Actually, this can be a game changer in times to come, as we understand and we are trying to implement it on the ground. And it also requires, because it needs to be verified by the field source also. So it requires a field-based verification as well. See, what my understanding is that for the remote sensing to go on, and for a good understanding on the ground to have, we need to work together with the ground and the remote sensing data, and we need to collate and do an analytics on the basis of using both of them. Then only we get a better result and better output. This is what we have experienced till now. So talking about stratified random sampling, as I had told earlier, this is the new age thing that has come. I mean to say, we have been working on it since last 2 years. And sampling is the process or a technique of selecting a representative part of a vast collection for the purpose of determining the characteristics of the whole collection. This we all know. But in this sense, what we do is we take vegetation indices or moisture indices, depending upon the fixed prior rule which we have developed or processed. Corresponding crop acreage map is built, and a crop yield data is created using biophysical model. And we try to stratify the layers on the basis of low, medium, high, and very high. The corresponding layer generates the random points. So this is how we create the biophysical model using remote sensing. And this is where we are being able to, and we are trying to create a system wherein the number of CCE or the number of experiments required to give out yield is reduced to the level wherein we can use the remote sensing and the ground-based experiments to come out with a good quality yield assessment. And this is a new age thing that we are already given a report in MNCFC regarding the same, and we are seeing this implementation actually happening right now. So this is an example of smart sampling points using crop acreage that we have generated. So here too, the issue is that if we don't have a clear image, or we don't have a clear, we have a lot of noise from the data that we have downloaded, we would not be able to, create, or, our accuracy levels or the AIML model that we developed does not give the right kind of values. And it either underestimates or overestimates the whole thing. So the whole problems come down to the fact that how we can actually counter that and come out with a solution which gives an optimum result and the better results for yield estimation. So there is a hybrid model called smart crop cutting experiments that is, wherein we do a smart CC sampling points as the sampling points we had discussed. Then we the field team does the navigation and reach out on the sampling point. The crop cutting selection is done. Then we do the crop cutting, the threshing is done, the weighment is done, the uploading is done on the ground itself through an app. The monitoring is done by the people sitting here. The quality check and photographs are checked by my quality check team. The analytics is done, and we come out with the report. So this is what the reduced sample and the reviewed manpower will do, is that it will create this kind of a map, and we would be able to give a better yield estimation in times to come. As I told when I was talking about my mission statement, that crop loss assessment or stress analytics is one of the biggest problem that we are facing, and even the government is facing. All of us are not being able to manage the kind of claims that are coming because of the climate change, the inclement weather that we are seeing. The crop losses which we say are categorized are in two types, that is pre-harvest and post-harvest. Pre-harvest, there are prevention of sowing, mid-season adversity, individual crop loss, or it can be a widespread calamity which is at the GP level. Post-loss harvest is when the crop is cut and spread on the field and there is a inclement weather in that particular area. So the reasons of crop losses can be droughts or hailstorms, floods, unseasonal rain, cyclone, frost, and hail. The major aspect that we have seen as of now is, because of inclement weather, even with the high winds, we have seen the crop going bad, and there are also issues with pests and diseases. So there have been issues where we can see that the crops are doing well even after the rainfall is there. There are pests that have developed because of the fact that because of humidity that has developed, which is not common to that crop, you see. So we are looking at hyperlocal assessment of crop loss, that is at a khasra level. If a particular farmer faces losses because of inclement weather in that particular area, which is not widespread but local, which has become a commonplace in today's day and age because of climate change. So the crop loss assessment in the level of geographical region is inclusion of biophysical crop management variables in the local context, extraction of relevant variables in the local context using UAV analytics and satellite image processing. Loss assessment at plot level is done. We need to decipher and construe the relationship between local factors and crop loss. We need to construe the impact of local terrain topography factors on the crop loss. So what is simulation analysis? Deviation in the stage of crop physiology variable will be used, which is used to estimate possible deviation from the threshold yield. Using composite index comprised of spectral vegetation indices, weather indices, and biophysical indices, predictive analysis is generated. Based on the deviation analysis and predictive analytics, alert are also generated. So we are trying to create a system wherein we can actually assess the loss using remote sensing, drones, and on-ground people who can give the points from the ground as well. So it's a combined effort that is required to come out with a solution and to be able to settle the claims the way we are trying to say. So this is the specific methodology that we have developed. Actually, we do not share this methodology, but essentially I believe we discussing the industry discussing with academia should discuss it with an open mind, so that I understand that some student or some research fellow would actually feel inclined or motivated to actually come out with some kind of a intervention which we may have missed. So I would just go through this process that is there is a claim intimation, a sheet that we get from people or the government. What we do is there is a calamity date, and from the calamity date we take the satellite image is acquired. From this image, we do the pre-processing of the satellite image, and the non-agriculture and agricultural land is bifurcated. Simultaneously, we are also working on found boundary. We capture the found boundary using our four corner photographs, and we do the farm digitization as well. So this is going at the same date at the, simultaneously, where we have a pre-date satellite image of the same land parcel and the post-date satellite image. Using these we have the NDVI image and we do the NDVI analysis, and we have a NDVI deviation map out of that. We do the deviation classification, and we also have an exposure data. Exposure data means what is the sum insured or the amount of loss that we expect from each land parcel. We also do validation through AWS and IMD data, and we come out with deviation distribution map, from which we actually find out the percentage loss or at the individual farm level. So this is something that looks sorted, but there are very small issues which causes big problems, like having noise, and because if there is an inclement weather, we would not get the images very frequently, or the images would take time to come, and we have to finish this assessment very, very fast, because obviously farmer has suffered and lost, and we have to compensate that loss for the farmer. So this is another methodology for the same crop loss assessment, wherein we have, if it is a GP level or the calamity is bigger and it has affected the whole gram panchayat or a series of gram panchayat. So the methodology is almost the same. The only thing is that we have to collect 8 random points at different locations. So that points have to be identified. So that is what we have mentioned here. So I'll just give an example of a case study of Fatehabad district in Haryana, wherein this is the list of claims that we had received with the loss percentage that is given by the government there. This is all indicative data, and it is not actual data. So this is how we get the land parcel, and this is the GP wise, village wise area that we have got for the cotton crop. So a total of 5195 claims were reported on 5th to 8th August 2020. And around 3 claims were reported sometime, and after that some few 2682 claims were also reported. So this is how it is shown, wherein the block boundaries are the pink ones are the block boundaries, and the green areas are the areas where the loss have been indicated, and the number of losses are the number that is written in the map. So this is the rainfall severity map, or we call a severity map. So this severity map becomes very, very essential. And this severity map is something wherein we, the more layers we add to, we will get better result out of it. And we will be able to understand what is the final, where the losses are essentially concentrated, where the government and agencies like us would be concentrated to provide relief to the farmers and the people around them. So this is the NDVI deviation map, which we developed, and this map is showing the spread of NDVI deviation from 31st July to 14th September in Fatehabad district. So this is so the main, the totally green area is the one wherein the loss is less than 10. And the red area that you see, small red areas, this is where the loss is actually severe, and the losses are more than 40. The number of farms that are affected. So we also do crop yield estimation. We have done crop yield estimation for the post-harvest also, and we are doing also in the prediction level also. So this is the steps that we follow in the crop yield estimation model that we have developed. Now, if we talk about the future course of action, we have been working diligently to develop people-centric agriculture solution. With same passion and sincerity, the team continues working towards the vision and mission of the organization, and that is providing end-to-end solution to farmers and all stakeholders of agriculture. Now, primarily, we'll be focusing on the following dimensions: upscaling the research and development activities, working on disruptive technologies for effective technology intervention in developing robust agriculture tech and disaster risk reduction analytics products and services. Basically, we want to go specifically hyper local, and we want to work for the farmers and the common people. Development of one-stop platform solution, which we are working on as of now and will be coming by March next year. Strengthening implementation and field team member for deploying solution. We have a lot of, around 600 people on the ground who are interacting continuously with the farmers. We are, upskilling them to understand better the risk and problems that the farmers are facing. We have come up with our own publications cell and research society as well. So that's it from my side.